Hey, what's up, everybody? I hear 2020 is the year of video, so giving it a try. Want to tell you what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, and give you one hot sports take for the week. Recently, I listened to Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger. He's a CEO of Disney. I listened to it on Audible, and I downloaded it with low expectations. Hadn't really heard about it, kind of just jumped out at me. Once I started reading it, I just instantly got hooked. It's a chronological story kind of about him starting at the bottom of the corporate ladder at ABC, then acquired by Capital Cities, and then with Disney. But eventually he becomes the CEO of Disney, and once he's the CEO, his career takes off. He's a crazy deal maker. He made deals with Marvel, Star Wars, Fox Century 21, Pixar, ran by Steve Jobs. One of the most interesting stories in the book, I thought, was when he was making the deal with Pixar. Last minute, Steve Jobs gave him the opportunity to pull out because Steve Jobs found out that his cancer had returned. And so last minute, he gave Bob Iger the opportunity to pull out, but wise decision by Bob to continue moving forward, but just showed the type of trust they had built with one another. And listening to the story, that relationship actually got off to a pretty rocky start. So I thought it was a really great book. Couldn't put it down. I was listening to it on my commute, at the gym, probably the only guy who deadlifts while listening to Audible. But seemed like a man of integrity. Really interesting story. Learned a lot about the past of Disney, so I would definitely recommend it. Also recently listened to Chasing Excellence podcast with Ben Bergeron and Patrick Cummings. Ben Bergeron's the owner of CrossFit New England here in Natick, Mass., so not too far from me. I'm not a CrossFitter, but I am a big fan of the podcast and his book, and I just think a lot of his lessons are really great, and you can apply them in many different areas of life. So the episode is 106, behind the scenes of my TEDx talk. He recently did a TEDx talk, and he just kind of talked about preparing for it and how he's been thinking about this idea for quite a while, just never actually pulled the trigger. And he was saying, sometimes you're only as ready as you're ever going to be. You're never actually ready to do something, and that's how it was with this. In the past, he had never been ready, and he accepted that he was as ready as he was ever going to be. So the takeaway from that is kind of like, don't wait for perfect, just get started. Sometimes you're never going to be 100% ready. You just kind of have to dive in and adapt and learn from it. And then my one hot sport take, I think Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers defense takes down the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 27-24. You heard it here first. Have a good weekend, everyone.